Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time you're listening to this podcast. Welcome back for another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. 70 episodes strong, ladies and gentlemen. 70 episodes strong. Holy shit. As I was recording this, I thought, wow, episode 70. And that's not including the rest. Honestly, time flies, especially the fact that as this episode drops, we are in September. We're nearly hitting October. Where has 2020 gone? Thank God it hasn't been in COVID lockdowns. That is the main thing. But before you know it, I'm going to be doing the Halloween episode. I'm going to be doing the Christmas episode. And then we're going to be celebrating 2023. Like, come on, you guys have to agree. The year has gone so quick. Like, it's just terrifying to know that the next slate of movies that I'll be going to see in theaters is Black Adam, which is in October, and Black Panther in November, and Avatar in December. Like, just holy shit. So guys, you know what we like to do with this podcast. We like to go to the news and we get into the reviews. But before we do that, please go check out our Twitch that we've been doing the last few weeks, where we do a video episode every single week. Now, unfortunately, we aren't doing one this particular week because my hometown, our favorite football team, Geelong, went into the grand final this past weekend and they smashed out of the park. So we went down to their hometown where they brought home the big grand final cup, and it was a big celebration. So unfortunately, I didn't have the time to do a video episode, which is why this one's just audio. But it was a big celebration. Probably drank a little bit too much, but hey, it's not very often your favorite team win the grand final. For example, the last time my team Geelong got in the grand final was in 2011. That was my last year in high school. Oh wow. That's another testament of how quickly time flies. But usually that doesn't happen. So usually every Sunday, roughly about 10 to 11 o'clock, we are on Twitch doing a live video episode. So if you haven't already, jump over and give us a follow. And if you haven't already, jump over and have a look at our latest video game review. I'm bringing back the video game reviews. I know it's been a while, so I thought I'd start with Saints Row 5. And the biggest question is it worth your time? Is this reboot worth your time, considering everything going on, which you've already may have heard? So please go and have a listen to that. Let me know what you think. And hey, as I said, did you enjoy it, or do you think this is an utter piece of trash? And as you're doing that, as you know, jump on all the socials to keep you guys up to date. So without further ado, let's dive into the news, which in this past week, I would have to say one of the biggest news would have to be the fact that Grand Theft Auto 6 leaked. Oh, what a massive kerfuffle that's been. Multiple videos have all been leaked, and from what it looks like they're diving into Vice City. Looks to be like that Miami setting, similar to what they did with GTA 5, rehashing San Andreas. But multiple videos got leaked, and it obviously it's very not too grainy, not too bad, but you can tell it's still plenty of work. And you know, they're even to the degree that Rockstar has even made an official statement saying, "Look, it's disappointing it has happened. It will not delay our works. However, you know, we have no release date, anything. We will want to make sure the fact that when we're ready, we'll come forth and tell you what's going to be happening." So if you didn't want to know any confirmation, Grand Theft Auto 6 is officially in the works. We have the cold hard proof right now, which to me, I'm kind of happy and sad at kind of the same time, because I'm like happy because there's going to be a new Grand Theft Auto. Sad because I'm like, I really wish the next game that Rockstar was going to be making was Bully. Apparently, the FBI has been looking into this. Apparently, it's linked to a person in the UK. The last report, don't know how true that is, but yeah, apparently that's got to do with someone over there that may have had big handing in all these leaks because it just went everywhere. And I feel sorry for Rockstar because obviously they want to make sure to keep everything under wraps and make it a big surprise. But now, ooh, not looking good. Hate to be that person. But let's keep moving on. Now, this is a very interesting thing that I didn't actually know until I read this article. So, how many people knew the fact that you can't get Doctor Strange, Thor 4 on Disney Plus in France? Yeah, that's correct. Apparently, they don't have access to not only these movies, but apparently there's a clause in, well, not a clause, there's a rule in France for their films that the fact they can't go onto streaming service for at least 17 months after release. That is insane. With the current time frame right now is 4 months for Disney Plus from release to getting on streaming service. And the fact that that's 17 months. So the reason why this article has appeared across my desk, across my Instagram or feed, is because apparently Marvel have come forward and saying the fact that apparently the Black Panther 2 premiere is apparently in question. So obviously, if they don't do a premiere for it, don't release it for theaters, then it can go straight on a streaming service straight away. They don't have to wait 17 months, and no one misses out. But a movie of this spectacle needs to be seen in theaters. So I don't really know how Marvel's going to try and work their way around the loophole. But for anyone who's listening to this podcast in France, please reach out. Is that correct? Like, you have to wait 17 months to see anything on streaming services compared to everywhere else. However, anyone who's got a little bit of skill has all got VPN, so it's completely out the door. But yeah, Black Panther 2 theater release is currently hanging in the balance. Now, speaking of Black Panther 2, if you haven't already noticed, on our Instagram page, we have been doing a weekly voting or weekly movie challenge. Now, my original one was for both House of the Dragon versus Lord of the Rings. House of the Dragon won. I was going to say which one's more popular, which one's the better show. House of the Dragon won. My last before that was what was the better movie, Logan or the Batman. Logan won. And the currently only most recent one is, which if you haven't already, please go check it out. Now, what do you think? Now, this is a bet I had with the guys over at Nerd Dose, is what do you think is going to be the bigger box office king of 2022? Will it be Avatar 2 Wakanda Forever, or will it be Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever, or Avatar 2 The Way of Water? Which one do you think will be the biggest, will take home the bacon, if you will? My bet is that Black Panther 2 will make the more money. However, Zach and Kyle say the fact that no, Avatar 2 will. Now, one of the comments that was really, really good, which I will point out, was the fact that they do believe, their comment was, Avatar 2 will make more money. But on paper, Black Panther 2 will be the better film. Now, that arguably I can believe will happen. If Black Panther 2 isn't the box office king, I can at least see the fact that everyone will say Black Panther 2 was a better film. It's shaping up to be, and honestly, I'm more excited for that. And right now, Avatar 1 has just re-released in theaters for the third time. James Cameron loves soaking up that money, doesn't he? You know, not like he's got anything else to do. Not to mention, yes, Avatar 2 is the highest grossing movie of all time because it's been re-released 3 times. So, inching further and further away when Endgame should be taking that title. But let's not get into that. For any Venom fans, it has reported that Venom 3 will be entering shooting next year, 2023, which means 2024 we will see Venom 3, which will end the Tom Hardy trilogy. And the most interesting going through into this is, will we see Spider-Man, or which Spider-Man will we see for this movie, if we see any, and who will be the bad guy? Tom Hardy's done a fantastic job so far. Venom 1 was good. Venom 2, yeah, he was all right. If you really want to know, go check out my review 30 episodes ago. Shit. And obviously we saw Tom Hardy in Spider-Man No Way Home. Spoilers. As you guys know, spoilers moving forward. So don't forget, spoilers, left, right, and center. Left, right, good night, cap, all over. For any Invincible fans, now this is more news we wanted, but not the actual news we really want. So one of the voice casts for Invincible has said the fact that all the voice work has been completed for season 2, and they're currently diving into season 3. So Amazon has greenlit season 2 and season 3 of Invincible over its massive reception it got last year, and it's, you know, how well it was doing. Unfortunately, don't have a release date as yet, which just feels like it's been forever since we got the first season of Invincible. So everyone's claiming for it, and I really can't wait for it, to be honest. But you tell me, are you excited for Invincible season 2? Do you think that the wait has been way too long? Moving on. So I reported last week that apparently an Iron Man game is reported to be in the works. That has officially been confirmed. An Iron Man game, a new story, isolated from anything else, not MCU related, not Spider-Man video game related, is currently in works. Single player / third person, no release date at this stage, but we will be getting a new Iron Man. I'm very curious to see how this will shape up and what type of style. It's kind of sucks the fact it's not attached to anything. If you haven't already, please jump over to the guys over at Pixel Pints. I had the absolute pleasure of appearing onto their podcast, and we actually spoke about the MCU and their video games, saying, you know, is it as Marvel dropped the ball? Why is there no connected video games? Why are some a hit and some are misses? Where did it all break down? It was a fantastic episode, and it was a lot of fun, and we dive into all this. So please go check those guys out. We're the only podcast in town where they talk about great video games and great beer. Tagline, copyright, all that fun stuff. But for any Iron Man fans, you're in the treat. A video game is on the way. Sadly, as I said, no release date. Moving on. So another really good news. Good news. In video games, for any Ted Lasso fans, as you would have seen, Ted Lasso and his crew will be appearing in FIFA 2023. A lot of people went nuts on this. Ted Lasso is a great show. I need to watch it. As Mark from Mark My Words constantly keeps telling me I need to watch it, which I will, man. I will watch it, I swear. But yeah, you can get Ted Lasso and all of his crew in the next FIFA game, which they had to do something different. This franchise is stale as anything. And now this was a little bit of a rumor news, which kind of wasn't really a surprise, but obviously Echo, Alaquin Cox from Hawkeye, she obviously is getting her own TV show on Disney Plus called Echo. She apparently reported will be appearing in Daredevil Born Again, which obviously Daredevil is going to be appearing in Echo, so it looks like they were doing a lot of back and forth. But it's good to see the fact that her character's got very longevity on these street level heroes, which I'm looking forward to. But when I saw that, I was like, yep, that doesn't seem like a surprise or a shocker to me. I was like, yeah, I probably would have expected her to be in it if she doesn't die, which I don't think. She was a fantastic actress and she did a great job, and I can see why she's getting her own TV show. Speaking of TV shows, Loki Season 2 trailer, it has leaked online, which from what we can tell, it's pretty clear. It's just on a weird angle, so you have to like crick your neck on a side to get a good view. We can see Loki going on new adventures. You see Morbius, different timelines. You see Loki struggling with the knowledge of what's coming with Kang, and what's coming forward, and the back and forth, because obviously this is a different Morbius than what we saw in season 1. But I'm really excited. Even just those clips on an angle just made me excited. Now, I really, really, really want Kang. I really want the trailer for Ant-Man 3. Oh my God. I can't wait for the trailer for Ant-Man 3 Quantumania, because there was a clip, or a photo, leaked of Ant-Man, Paul Rudd, looking beaten up, bloodied, shocked, just absolutely like he's just been through the ringer. And I'm like, I need to see the trailer for this ASAP. What is Kang going to do to him? What is going to happen? Will Ant-Man survive past Ant-Man 3? Will he be the next Avenger to hang up I was about to say the cape, but hang up the helmet. Will he be next in line? But just looking at the photos, like, shit has gone down. So I just wish we could get all these trailers that were released. I'm like, come on. Like, I can understand Guardians of the Galaxy, because James Gunn came forward saying it's not ready for release. But these other trailers look like they've been shown twice, both at Comic-Con and D23. So come on, Marvel, just give us trailers. Come on, we'll still be hyped for every single one. But yes, Loki season 2 trailer got leaked. So did the Guardians Galaxy, but nothing new from the original leak. It's just probably a little bit clearer, but nothing really new on that we didn't already know. And the last bit of news that we did get was kind of sad. So, James L. Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, has officially announced his retirement. After 4 decades, he is retiring from the iconic character that has made him synonymous with voice acting, and playing almost the greatest villain in cinema history. Has announced that he is retiring from the character. He's also sold his voice to Lucasfilms, so the fact that they can use it in future, thanks to technology. So you will still hear the iconic Darth Vader, but it will no longer be James Earl Jones doing fresh lines. So I'm really glad to hear the fact that he has sold his voice to Lucasfilm, so we still get to hear the iconic character's voice. Because sometimes when a character's voice changes, you can tell the difference. It doesn't sound authentic, and it just takes you right out. But it's very sad, and no one can blame him. 4 decades, the man's in his 90s. He's probably want to sell it. He's got enough money. He's got enough money to do whatever he wants. But it's kind of sad, because not only James L. Jones retiring, but with also John Williams will be retiring in Indiana Jones 5 as well. It's just sad seeing all these iconic people start to hanging up and do their final bow. And James L. Jones is, I think, the last playing Darth Vader would have been Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is a fantastic way to go out on a high. So that's the biggest news that's happened the past week. Now let's move on to I'm real quick about Rick and Morty, last week's episode. What the far out? Whoa. Very interesting episode. Also maybe make me think of Loki, actually. There's nothing like falling in love with yourself, and that's anyone who's seen the episode will know exactly what I mean. Beth falls in love with her clone Beth. They fall in love, and as you would know, that would typically go as 2 lovebirds go, and then Jerry gets involved, and the kids are mortified. It just gets worse. Just gets worse. But definitely typical Rick and Morty. Was not what I was expecting. I will still need to watch this week's, but nothing. I still seem to find myself shocked with Rick and Morty. They seem to keep pushing the envelope. I'm like, what is going on? But have you guys enjoying the Rick and Morty latest season so far? Yay or nay? or you're just waiting until the entire season comes out to do a big binge. But let's get on to one of the biggest shows that got dropped last week, Star Wars Andor. Now, this is very interesting, this particular show, because it is 12 episodes long, and it is a prequel to a movie that to a movie that we thought we would never get, and that is Rogue One. Now, arguably, Rogue One is one of the better Star Wars films because it really emphasizes or puts on the fact that war element. Rogue One is very gritty. It's been shot like Saving Private Ryan, and all these war films. It's very gritty and it's very bleak. Obviously, you get the iconic Darth Vader in it and the killer scene at the end. And this is set 5 years before those events. Now, Star Wars Andor is 12 episodes long and will be getting a season 2. Only 2 seasons. Season 2 will conclude straight to the events of Rogue One. And 3 episodes have been dropped. Now, first episode, to me personally, boring as batshit shit. It was so slow. I was so disinterested. I was watching it and just thinking, okay, when's this gonna? I don't give a shit about anything going on right now. It's obviously been a very long time since I've seen Rogue One, but this first I just found it so slow and so boring. So for anyone who hasn't watched Star Wars Andor, I can tell you, yes, the first episode is slow as shit. However, see episode 2 and especially episode 3 pick it right up. We get straight into gear. So I'm not going to go full in depth with all 3 episodes of launch. I will be moving on. As every single episode drops. Same thing with She-Hulk. But special effects on point. The setting on point. Acting on point. This, from episode 1 and into 2, I got big Blade Runner vibes. A singular man going up against this like dystopian kind of future. Everything's bleak, everything's sad, it's gritty, it's dirty, if you will. And that's the big setting that we're getting with Star Wars Andor, and I really like it. Nothing seems flashy, there's no heroes. There's no heroes as such. There's nothing bright colors. There's no beautiful lightsabers, no beautiful green. It's all gritty. Like this, you're seeing how bleak the world is. Similar with Obi-Wan Kenobi, which was again bleak because the Empire is in full control in between this time, and you can see people hate the Empire. People are scared. And that's all conveyed so well. And special effects is just on point. And couldn't complain about that at all. And some of the landscape shots look fantastic. The sets they build for this show are outstanding and are just pure magical. If you haven't already, go check out the Obi-Wan Kenobi documentary. You get to see behind the scenes on the sets, and you get to see the absolute magnitude of what they've built. Originally, they only built 1, which was for Mandalorian. But due to the success of Mandalorian, they've built 2 more. So there's 3 stages. So that's how they're able to pump out these shows a lot quicker. It's just interesting to watch. It's different. It's in the vein of Star Wars, in the vein of Rogue One. So you're going into this. Nothing feels Star Wars. It feels definitely a spy thriller against the Empire, depending on like what kind of culture you want to talk about that. But that's all fantastic, and it's interesting in the background of Andor and see what he's been up to. Well, what he has been up to before Rogue One, getting more backstory about his character, what tribe he was from, his planet, getting all that aspect, his friends, his family, the cute little red robot, which I'm so glad nothing happened to that. So glad. And seeing like his stepmom and the type of culture you see in this. Now, that's a big thing that Star Wars does. It shows you all these different cultures coming together and working, which is fantastic. But it's definitely, the show's definitely gritty. It's definitely rough. Yeah, the episode 1 was just so slow for me. So slow. But episode 2, that really picked up my interest. I'm like, okay, I'm more engaged now. And episode 3, bang, bang, bang. Absolutely action balls to the wall. That picks up. Now, look, I'm not expecting every episode to be like that, but I feel like episode 1, it needs to get you that hook. It needs you to go at the end of the episode. You're like, I want to see episode 2. I want to keep going. Not like slow breeze. But obviously, Disney does know that you're going to keep going because it's Star Wars. And it's going, and seeing that. So what we really get is that we see the fact that, where Andor lives. Cassian, Andor is his last name, but Cassian, you still get to see what he's doing. Unfortunately, he gets in a bit of a rough guts at a backwater planet. Kills 2 guys. Spoilers alert, as I said previously. Kills 2 guys and alerts the Empiring officers. They go on a manhunt for him, which leads to him the home planet that he is currently living on, which leads to the big action piece in episode 3. They find out where he is, and then this how leads forward. But the characters, the designs, the acting, all great. Keeps you hooked in. Like that's, obviously that's a short version going in. But guys, tell me, like, are you enjoying Star Wars Andor? What did you think of the very first episodes? Everyone I spoke to has loved it. Even IGN's given it a 9. Like, it is well worth it. And it's the most thing I can say about this for anyone. It is refreshing. This is an original Star Wars story. It's not, we're not touching on Boba Fett. We're not touching on Luke. We're not touching on Darth Vader or Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're not touching these characters. These are all new characters, new story. I don't know if there will or be any connection to the main cast that we're so used to. That's what was so good about the season 1 of Mandalorian. It was so detached from everything, and except for Baby Yoda, but it was detached from everything until the end of the season, and then season 2 was obviously a complete shift. Which I love season 2 of Mandalorian. The first 2 seasons of Mandalorian are fantastic, but the thing is, that was an original story. It was fresh. Like, I'm not saying it was anything bad with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Fantastic seeing the actors back and everything, but this is a different setting. It's more gritty. No one has powers, if you will. No one's, it's more gritty is the best way I can speak to it. So I loved it. I can't wait for the rest of the episodes. We have 9 left. So strap yourselves in. And obviously we've got the 9 left, and we'll have season 2, which will also be 12 episodes, which is well on its way. So strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get into our last review, which this is the part where I'm going to talk about toxicity, and I'm going to swear. Look. You people need to understand, and I can't stress this enough. The latest episode of She-Hulk came out, and I went to TikTok, as you do these days with social media, and seeing all, except for like 2, all these TikTokers, these reviewers, just yelling, shouting how trash it is, Marvel's pathetic, going against this, and not only that, but them trashing each other, trashing other people in their field, and like, because of their point of view. That's the whole point of a review. It's your point of view, your opinion. That does spark debate. But these people are yelling and just saying how terrible the show is, how awful it is, grown men bitching and moaning. Yeah, okay, me saying that, yes, I'm a grown man bitching. I'm a grown man bitching about other men. But like, what the fuck? Honestly, like, it's just utter bullshit. Just watching it, I'm like, and people see this, and then that creates okay, that's how I have to review. That's how I have to attack somebody or attack something that I don't like. If something that you don't like does not give the point for you to attack someone who does like it. You go to talk to them and you spark a debate. You don't yell at them and just instantly say that's trash or instantly this is horrible. Like, I've even seen people who have reacted to other people's videos and haven't even finished their full review. They've attacked him halfway through. And that's fucking ridiculous. Honestly, we're just watching it. And the thing is, with the She-Hulk, the funny thing is, I'm sure Marvel knows what's going to tick people off and what's not. And the fact that you're doing all this, you're bitching, you're moaning, saying the show's shit, and you're attacking, like, probably not the attack part, but the fact that you're moaning about the show, you're creating free publicity about it. More you complain, more they win. More that you tag, more that you trend, same thing. Like, oh, this guy on TikTok's complaining about She-Hulk. I'm going to watch this and find out if he's right. But that doesn't give you a right to attack someone on TikTok arguing about their opinion or bitch and moan about, dude, if you don't like the show, don't watch it. It's that simple. You're only watching the show. Hell, if you even watch the show, you're only doing it to gain followers. And that's it. A 60-second either attack or shouting review. And just watching it just absolutely boiled my blood. And it's just toxic. It is so toxic right now. Now, Marvel has not been... Marvel doesn't have a toxic fan base. But this, She-Hulk, has sparked something in these TikTokers that have gone so riled up about the show. It's not even funny. And for anyone who's listening to me right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I have no doubt you've seen it. And, even some TikTokers, the big ones like Soups, even came forward on TikTok saying it doesn't give you the right to attack someone on your review and everything. If you don't like the show, you can talk about it, but don't attack. It's ridiculous. And, anyone who's listening to right now, doesn't like what I'm saying, come fight me. I will debate with you on any platform about it if you don't like it on the show and anything I say. If you don't like something, that's the whole point. You have your opinion. Doesn't give you the right. Doesn't give you the right to attack someone because of someone else goes against your opinion, which is a long-standing argument that I could really dive into on multiple different cultures, just not TVs, movies, and video games. But it just seems I haven't seen this level of aggression before on Moon Knight or Miss Marvel. I saw a little bit, but She-Hulk has definitely sparked something in these fully grown men to do this, and that's not the right thing to do. It's honestly not. And I just thought, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get a life, get a job, and oh no, a female lead. The female lead in a show. Oh, it sounds like you got some insecurities there, you little chap. How about you go to a psych and figure it all out? Oh, oh my God. And, I've seen Star Wars have a toxic fan base. Like, we saw what happened with Obi-Wan Kenobi. We saw what happened with John Vega in the new trilogy. You saw what happened with Jar Jar Binks. People, you don't need to do death threats. You don't need to attack people on that kind of level just because you don't like something. Like, attack their acting skills or their portrayal of a character or how much you dislike the character. Don't attack the person. Like, they have a life. They've got, and it should be everyone's dream to be like, oh my God, you're in Star Wars. You're in Marvel. But not this level. Like, you hear people who delete Instagram, delete Twitter because it's just all negative all the time. And people do that. People go insane, on insane levels, and it's ridiculous. You don't need to. But I just, Thursday, going on TikTok, it was just what the fuck. And It wasn't 1, 2. It was about 5 or 6 movie review podcasts I saw, all male, all attacking each other. And even Soups and the other bloke, I can't, Story Hat or something, who just did a nice review and was just trying to defend the situation, got attacked, which is ridiculous. Sometimes it can just get a little bit too real for people, and then you don't know if, like, why are you attacking that much, or like why are you being like that? Just to get views. Like, that's it, just to get views. Like, you're not adding anything to the conversation. You're wasting people's time. You are a waste of space. Straight up. Move aside if you've got nothing good to say or anything actual critic review. Straight up. Anyway, that's my kind of round toxic fan base. And I don't want Marvel to have that toxic fan base that Star Wars has. I don't want to be on that level. I don't think Marvel should be. Marvel shouldn't be able to get that high. Star Wars, obviously, is a different kettle of fish altogether. But again, Star Wars shouldn't have that toxic fan base. Star Trek has a toxic fan base as well. I don't think Stargate does. But, Marvel, the bigger you get, the more toxic people you seem to get. And it's just, those are the type of people that not bring down a franchise, but bring down the fun, the enjoyment of a franchise, or being part of something bigger than yourself. When you have people like that who do a bad name and, you're just like the rest, that kind of stuff. You don't want that at all. But look, let me get into the She-Hulk review. Now, look, I'm going to tell you, this episode, 3/4 for me, was a bit slow. I was probably a little bit disengaged. Now, this episode was called Just Jen. Oh, another thing people got really annoyed about was because of the fact that Daredevil got teased in the last episode, but Daredevil wasn't in this episode. Oh my God, Daredevil wasn't in this. Oh, I'm just going to freak out and get mad because of the fact that I didn't get what I wanted. And, Daddy wasn't there. That kind of shit. Yes, Daredevil wasn't in this episode. Was I a little bit like, oh, damn. Was I gutted about it, the whole thing? Like, no, I'm like, of course they're going to cock tease us. Of course, because they know we want to see Devil. We want to see him in the new suit. We want to see that. So we know, Marvel knows what you want. And the funny thing is, even Jen says at the beginning of the episode, yes, this is going to be a self-contained wedding episode. And even says, just Jen. So people have even got mad because the show even tells you what it was just going to be. So if you just didn't want to watch it, switch off and wait till next week. But yes, this episode was just Jen. So this one was just a self-contained story, which still had connections to the overall storyline, where we see Jennifer go to one of her friends' weddings to look really good, and Titania is there. So Titania is there. And you see that she wants to be this is weird. She wanted to be She-Hulk. All her friends loved it, but the bride didn't want her to be because she felt she was stealing the spotlight. So she became just Jen. And I feel really bad for Jennifer Walters because how she's getting, picked on, and the fact that, no man wants her because she's just Jen. So I feel bad for her on that part. And she gets to speak to a really nice guy called Josh, who was actually interested in her. Don't trust him. He's too nice. Which you do see later in the episode. But, she gets bullied a little bit, being the bottom bitch, having to clean up for everybody. She finds that her groom is a dog. Like, it's just laying on thick to her how the fact that what her life is as Jen, even though she has this fantastic job and that she's a superhero that's about to join the Avengers, yet that's what most people care about. And obviously Titania does rock up, which is a lot of sus because of the fact that she's dating one of the friends and what she's going to be there. But as the episode progresses, Jennifer gets a little bit drunk and Titania beats her up a little bit. And then it turns into a fight between the two, which is really good. Yeah, that's kind of the part where it got to me, where I got interested, was when Jennifer finally turned to She-Hulk, and we got some action, which I was happy about, obviously, but I was still enjoying the storyline. Just that's kind of what I picked. It's like, oh, okay, here's the action set piece, which was really good. I like that. CGI still good, and no complaints about that. Acting still fantastic. And then what we do get to see is Jennifer does a nice, good right hook to Titania. She goes back. She goes to run at She-Hulk. She trips and breaks all her teeth, and she looks like, she looks really bad. Her teeth are just all broken. She's all embarrassed, everyone, because everyone's taking photos and everything, because she was going to take this opportunity to get back at Jen. And then Titania leaves. I'm like, that's not the last time we're going to see Titania. She will be back after she fixes her teeth, because she looks hideous. And this is the part I understand, is that the bride then turns around and sees She-Hulk and is like, oh my God, you're here. That's fantastic. Thank you for helping. I'm like, well, this could have been avoided if she could play She-Hulk the whole time, because Jennifer did get drunk. She-Hulk doesn't have that problem. So you get to see that, Jennifer being drunk, she struggles to turn into She-Hulk. So she really had to focus. So I thought that was a good aspect. And as this episode's going on, we get to see Jennifer's friend Nikki. Nikki started being a helping hand with the other lawyer, which I'm trying to remember her name. What's her name? Totally forgot. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I totally forgot her name. The other lawyer that helped her out last week. And then we get to see this new guy called Immortal, Mr. Immortal, who can't die, which you do find out he definitely can't die. But I was watching this episode and I was looking at him going, you look really familiar. Where have I seen you? I'm like, he was the stooge from Boba Fett that had like the tentacles sticking out of his head in the green, that would try to be like the ambassador, try to be in Boba Fett, who try to do the runaway and the loser. Yeah, he was in that too, because I was looking at your voice sounds really familiar. I'm like, where do I know that from? I'm like, that's why. So you get to see this new character called Mr. Immortal, who is in the Marvel comics. Not a very big character, but we do see the fact that he's been very busy, getting married, unmarried, getting married several times. Every time the situation gets really intense for him emotionally, he goes, jumps out a window, or goes in front of a car to try and kill himself to get out. Obviously, he can't die, but that's what he does. So there's about 12 people in this room that all want to suck him dry, if you will, for every penny less. So that's the court case that we get to see. So I'm liking these different court cases, in saying the different mutants, different superheroes, different enhanced individuals that we see each week, and back and forth. But so as it progresses, after the case is closed, Nikki and the other lawyer go and they stumble on this website called Intelligence or Intelligence, that they could find the fact that there's this whole fan page, like a Reddit page, all going to attack She-Hulk, all these memes and everything. That they need to kill her, or how they can kill She-Hulk. All this is dark conspiracy. And as that scene ends, we get to see this lab where they've got all these special needles, which have a very big needle, which I have no doubt will be vibranium tipped to pierce She-Hulk's skin to take her blood. Now I had the absolute pleasure of having Michael from Star Wars podcast on this podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he came up with a fantastic theory, which I think you need to take to the bank. So call your eyes over to Thunderbolts. We got to see the Thunderbolts team, and Valentine is there, which at the time was like, okay, I guess she's there because she's assembling the team. But at the same time, it's like, why? Well, hang on, but she's got no powers. So Michael came up with a theory, complete plot twist. So we know Thunderbolts are named after Thunderbolt Ross. We know in the comics, Ross became the Red Hulk. Now, obviously, R.I.P. William Hurt has passed away, so Ross will not be obviously appearing forward, and they're not going to recast the character. So, flip side, what happens is Velveteen becomes Red She-Hulk, and she becomes on the team. Boom. When we were talking about that, I was like, yes, I could see that happening. I 100% could see that happening. And there is a Red She-Hulk in the comics, obviously. And I think, yeah, take that to bank. I could see that happening. Well, she becomes the Red Hulk with this team. You still get it, still female, gender swap, whatever. But I could see that happening. So the episode overall, it did progress the show a little bit forward. It was a bit slow. I felt sorry for Jen, but everything else still kept with the show. I'm not going to attack anyone for it. Is it the best episode so far of She-Hulk? No. It is very much a self-contained filler episode. So, look, I'm excited for this week. See what's going to come out. Will we see Daredevil? I look at this stage, I have no doubt Daredevil will only appear in the very last episode, or he will appear in the very second last episode, because it has been announced the fact that Charlie Cox is only in for one episode. So I'm very curious to see which episode that is. It could be episode 8, which is obviously this season goes for 9 episodes. So everyone, calm your shit and just wait until he appears. But so far, I am still putting She-Hulk above Miss Marvel. I am enjoying the show a whole lot more than Miss Marvel and a lot more engaged. It's actually, the reviews for Miss Marvel seemed a little bit like, I'm just watching it because it's still Marvel. But She-Hulk, I'm fully invested in this, and I'm enjoying everything they're doing differently. All these new different characters, seeing more of the world of Marvel on this type of level. So, but you guys, you tell me, are you enjoying She-Hulk right now? Do you think I'm being too harsh, or do you think I'm just not hitting the mark with the review? Do you think the fact the show is terrible? So please send me a message, Instagram, Twitter, all the fun stuff. Let me know what you think. Are you disappointed that Daredevil didn't appear and the fact you have to wait a little bit longer? And do you think Titania is gone and dusted and you won't see her again? But look, guys, that is my 2 reviews for She-Hulk and Star Wars Andor. And moving forward, we will still doing the reviews of She-Hulk, and we're doing more in-depth review of each episode of Star Wars Andor. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in this episode. Until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.